Now, with good reference, we would like to invite our lineage Guru, Living Buddha Lei Tsang, to bestow a Buddha Dharma teaching. First, we'd like to pay homage to the lineage Gurus, to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming, to Master Sakya Zengkong, homage to the 16th Dharma King Karmapa, and homage to Master Thupten Dorji, homage to the three jewels of the altar, and homage to the Maitreya Bodhisattva, the greatly privileged king. Homage to the Maitreya Bodhisattva, the greatly privileged king. Homage to Maitreya Bodhisattva, the greatly privileged king. Simu, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, all disciples here and over the webcast, and our guest of honors today from the Taiwan government, the Chief Secretary, Mr. Zheng Peifu, and Mrs. Zheng. From Academia Sinica, Professor Zhu and Mrs. Zhu. And from National Cheng Kung University, WE Professor Dr. Wang. And from National Zhongzheng University, WE Professor, Special Professor Dr. Wang and Mrs. Wang. And from National Yilan University, WE Professor Dr. Lin. From National Pingtung University of Science and Technology, Assistant Professor Dr. Ye, Doctor in Education. From Huaxia Institute of Technology, Professor of Information Management Department, Dr. Chai. From Kunsan Science and Technology University, Assistant Professor Dr. Si. From Northwest University of USA, WE Department, Dr. Yo. From Hong Kong University, Doctor of Pharmacology, Dr. Liang. From the DPP Party of Tainan City, the head chief, Mr. Tsai Wang-Quan's representative. And the Worldwide Lotus Light Charitable Society President, Master Chang Lun. And from the Lotus Light Charitable Society of Taiwan, the President, Mr. Wu. Mr. and Mrs. Zhu. The producers for the Illuminating Your Heart of CDI-TV Taiwan, Ms. Rebecca Su. And for the Platform Sutras and Development Stages of Tantrayana TV program, the producer, Master Lian Yue, and the host, Dharma Sister Pei Jun. And Mr. Ni, a businessman from Indonesia.
1 year 1 time. Okay. 10 up.
She's a great entrepreneur from Indonesia. And my brother Qizong.
Europe. Come from Europe. Okay, can get up.
So would you like to sing the praise? Please sing on the stage. So the praise for the Mahamudra. Thank you, Dhamma Brother Qizong.
Tại ngoan tại hư
everyone. Good afternoon. How do you do? Good afternoon. How do you do? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. In Indonesian, in Malay, Taiwanese, Mandarin, in Japanese, in English, in Japanese, in Cantonese.
I have one news tell everybody. This morning, my daughter called home for me and Lei Tsang master say New Year, Happy New Year, say Happy New Year. I tell my daughter, I told my daughter, say, how are you today? Are you busy? And United States, American have heavy snow. Are you okay? Yeah, my daughter said it's very nice, no problem, because in Seattle have the Pacific temperature, so no big snow, just snow. My daughter said, are you busy? I said, I am busy. Because this morning, 9:30, I go to the Taiwan Lei Tsang temple. Have the vice president come to the temple, pray the Buddha, and see me and everybody. But afternoon, I have a ceremony. Ceremony is the Maitreya Bodhisattva fire offering. So I am busy. I talk and I speak chanting, and talk Dharma. So I am busy, but temperature is good. Temperature is have sunny day, beautiful day, and a nice day, and but morning and every night a little bit cold. So I just tell everybody today the newspaper. Today the news, not newspaper. Yeah. 简单跟我的女儿
So briefly, I had a phone call with my daughter and the news this morning. Very pleased. And thank you everyone to be here. So happy birthday, because today is the birthday of Maitreya Bodhisattva. I almost sang รู้จักกันI forgot the words. That's Indonesian birthday song. And there are lots of Indonesian disciples here singing happy birthday song to Maitreya Bodhisattva to make him really happy. So, as I said, Maitreya Bodhisattva, this is the last life before he attained Buddhahood. So, it's like the last life before Buddhahood. That's the name. So, he's also the greatly privileged king. So, the Buddha, which is really great and has great power, just like Sakyamuni Buddha. And Sakyamuni Buddha confirmed Maitreya Bodhisattva that he would be the future Buddha. The present Buddha is Sakyamuni Buddha, and the future Buddha is Maitreya Buddha or Maitreya Bodhisattva. And Maitreya Bodhisattva is truly, truly great. When he was into heaven, he was brother with Sakyamuni Buddha. And Maitreya Bodhisattva had shown the enlightenment, true understanding of the mind and the seeing the Buddha nature. And at that time, Sakyamuni Buddha has not seen the Buddha nature, has not gained enlightenment. So, but Maitreya Bodhisattva had. But at the time of the Tissa Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha's affinity with the Saha world had matured. Yet, Maitreya Bodhisattva's affinity with the Saha world is slightly less. So, through the observation of the Tissa Buddha, he invited Sakyamuni Buddha to descend to the Saha world first to salvage sentient beings. And then later on, it would be Maitreya Bodhisattva to descend to the Saha world. And when Maitreya Bodhisattva descend to the Saha world, the lifespan of beings would be very, very long. And according to the Maitreya 6 Sutras, that during the 3 meetings of the dragon flowers, that Maitreya Bodhisattva would be able to salvage trillions, eons of people, innumerable beings. So today, if you are the primary supplicant for Maitreya Bodhisattva, or that if you receive empowerments of Maitreya Bodhisattva, that means you have great affinity with Maitreya Bodhisattva. By having this affinity, that you would be disciples of these 3 meetings of the dragon flower. And at that time, there would be many great bodhisattvas descending upon the Saha world together with Maitreya Bodhisattva, like Kuan Yin, Lokeswara, Manjusri, Siddhigarbha, Maitreya, Akasagarbha, Viskambi, and Vajrapani. So the 8 great bodhisattvas would be descending together with Maitreya, with the leader, the key person as Maitreya, being Maitreya Bodhisattva. And during the 3 meetings of the Dragon Flower, all these Bodhisattvas would become Buddhas in the future. The spiritual cultivation of Maitreya Bodhisattva is different from others. Sakyamuni Buddha descended upon the Saha world, and according to Sakyamuni Buddha's Dharma teaching, say from the Hinayana, the small vehicle, and of course he also taught Mahayana and Vajrayana. But for Hinayana, the Sravakas, it's the existentialism and the sutras. They are considered the small vehicle, and the greater vehicle is the Madhyamaka and the consciousness only, or Yogacara. They are considered the greater vehicle. And the Madhyamaka was started by Nagarjuna, and Yogacara, or consciousness only, was started by Maitreya Bodhisattva. But Maitreya Bodhisattva did not only taught consciousness only, but he also taught Madhyamaka, or the middle way. There are 2 sects. One is the self being empty, and the other one is others being empty. Self-empty is Nagarjuna according to the concept of Madhyamaka. When you handle it just right, at that time the Buddha nature, which is the empty nature, will naturally appear. That's the school taught by Nagarjuna as the self-empty sect or school. And Maitreya Bodhisattva, who taught Asanga, that's the other empty school or sect. Other than self-Buddha, then outside of that, everything is empty. So he break apart the nihilism that everything is empty. Because Maitreya Bodhisattva has the consciousness and the Tathagata store consciousness. That's the radiant or wise, the radiant or luminous Buddha nature. So during the 3 meetings of the Dragon Flower, when he emit the light or the radiance of the consciousness, then all beings present, with the flashing of the light, all karma would be purified. With one statement, Namo Buddhaya, all would rise and go to the Pure Lands, the Buddha lands, and in a split of a second, all will be salvaged and delivered. So this is the great transformations of the consciousness. So in the future, when Maitreya Bodhisattva descended upon the Saha world, and you need to pay attention when, sometimes you don't recognize him. Like in the past, in China, there was the cloth bag monk, and that monk was actually Maitreya Bodhisattva. He was an emanation of Maitreya. So Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have myriad transformations, emanations in the Saha world. And till the day that Maitreya Bodhisattva, the greatly privileged king, came to the Saha world was about to be empty. All of them would be delivered by Maitreya Bodhisattva. those who have not been reborn in the pure Buddha lands, or that those who are still cycling in the rebirth cycle, that in the future we can go to the place of Maitreya Bodhisattva, and together we are reborn in the pure Western. Western, very happy Buddha country. If you still have energy in the Saha world or cycling in the rebirth cycle, it's okay, because in the future you still have to become a Buddha. You would still be able to become a Buddha. Let me share a joke first. So Xiaoyu told her dad, "You need to lose weight," but he ate so much and gulping the food. And the dad asked, "Aren't you on diet? Why do you still eat so much?" And she replied, "But if I don't eat, how do I have the energy to be on diet?" So that's a catch-22. It's a vicious cycle. So to lose weight, she still have excuses that she needs energy to lose weight. So on the Saha world, in order to deliver sentient beings, all the Dharma propagators, you need to have power. Maybe they had made a vow that they want to help sentient beings in every lifetime. Once you made the vow, you need to be working really hard, and you have to have the power and the energy to do so. You could not be powerless. Like Qizong, Dharma brother earlier, singing the praise to Mahamudra. I was just singing a few verses and I already starting to lose my voice. So to deliver sentient beings, you need to have power. You have to have strength and capabilities. And you want to be reborn with self-control. So you need to be in control of your birth, to find a good spiritual friends and to use Buddha Dharma to deliver sentient beings. So you have to rely on your own power and strength. So Maitreya Bodhisattva had said an analogy. There was a river that nobody can cross over. What kind of river is that? That's the river of reincarnation. Most people will not be able to cross it over to go to the other shore. And there's a very, very tall tree that can reach the other end, the other shore of this river, but it is vertical. And this tree is called the tree of attachment. Everyone has attachments. One day, I heard a lady said, "I'm the one that has no attachments. I'm the one that can let go of everything." Amitabha. Even Grandmaster Lu does not dare to say this, and you dare to say it, so I should treat you as my teacher. So the tree of attachments cannot be cut down by all beings, except one, Maitreya Bodhisattva said. So only a crystal sword can cut down this tree. And what is this crystal clear sword? Is the sword of wisdom. Only the sword of wisdom can cut down the tree. We should not be boasting that we are the one that has no attachments and can let go or put down. Maitreya Bodhisattva is the one that can put down most. Someone asked the cloth bag monk, so, Venerable monk, what is your Buddha Dharma? And the monk put down his cloth bag. That means he can put down. And is Buddha Dharma, that's it? And then the monk take back the cloth bag. So that means you can put it on and also put it down. And the cloth bag monk can do both. So that's true Buddha Dharma. So there's wisdom in here. Only the wisdom sword can cut down the tree of attachments, crossing the river of reincarnation to cross over to the other shore. The attachments of all beings can be seen. They are attached to everything. If you think of something, that means you're attached to that. And Maitreya Bodhisattva has many precious storage. I remember when I went to United States, I went empty-handed. Me, and we live in Ballard. At that time, Lian Huo, Lian Si, Lian Zhu masters, they had a furniture business. And I told Master Lian Huo, can you please give me a desk? I would place it on my living room, in my living room, and I want to give spiritual consultation in order to earn a living. I need a desk and a chair in order to give spiritual cultivation. The living room was empty. And Master Lian Huo and Lian Si and Lian Zhu told Grandmaster, no need for them. Because this is America, nobody would come for spiritual cultivation. And every morning, no car, no people, no, just a cat. It's a small cat. Just one small cat. So is the cat asking me for spiritual cultivation? She was clawing at the door. No. So Masters Lian Huo, Lian Si, Lian Zhu knew that nobody would come. So my heart cried out, oh no. We would die of hunger in America. In Taiwan, there were 300 people come every day for spiritual consultation, but in America, not even a little kitten. And at that time, Maitreya Bodhisattva appeared. So I told Maitreya Bodhisattva, I'm almost dying of hunger.
Hungry, I'm hungry. No food, no income, no food. I have the wife and the 2 children. 喝西北风啊，跟弥勒菩萨讲，我们喝西北风。
So we can only take in the air. And Maitreya Bodhisattva said, "Oh, I have lots of things for you." And he opened his cloth bag. And wow, there were so many gold, silver, jewels, diamonds, and dharma crowns, and clothing, big houses, lands, all given to me, bestowed upon me.
You kidding me? 你欺骗我吗？我现在什么都没有。
You kidding me? I don't have anything. And then Maitreya Bodhisattva took back his cloth bag and said, "Goodbye, Master Lu." So prior to giving the Dhamma teaching, Maitreya Bodhisattva appeared behind me and tapped on my shoulder. And then I tap. And I shake it off and said, "What are you doing?" And it turned out to be Maitreya Bodhisattva. And he followed me to come up to this altar. Anyone saw me brushing on my shoulder? Tutan Siddhi saw it. And Lien Si saw it too. You saw it too? I tapped on my shoulder and that was on his hand. And I said, "Who is that?" And I didn't see anyone. Maitreya Bodhisattva. Now you have everything, right? So in the Saha world, you need to have power. Then everything will be given to you. If you have really meet the way, then everything will be given to you by the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, by Maitreya Bodhisattva. That everything in his cloth bag is to be bestowed upon sentient beings. When we were in United States, we were really in poor condition. The mom asked the doctor, "My daughter seemed to have a mental problem. She always thought she's a hen." And the doctor asked, "Why didn't you bring her sooner?" And the mom replied, "Because we were waiting for her to lay an egg." When I was in Seattle, I was waiting for Maitreya Bodhisattva to lay an egg on me. You cannot wait. You need to find a way. Oh man. There is a Seattle News. The Northwest News is a Chinese newspaper there in Seattle. And then I submit an article and they really publish it. And then they gave me $4. That's the first time, the first income I had in United States. I was really pleased. So with Simu and Foqing Foqi, we went to Kaki Park. It's a park on the seaside with a little hill. And we had a one-day vacation there. With $4, we bought a loaf of bread and a few eggs, the eggs given by Maitreya Bodhisattva. And we had an egg sandwich for lunch. And then we had fun for the whole day. We climbed the mountain and then went to the beach, and then we picked some seaweeds for free. And then Simu took back home the seaweed and dried them, and then brought them back to Taiwan and give them to the relatives in Taiwan. This is a true story. At that time, earning $4, we were really pleased already, very happy. After half a year, Lai Wen-Yen right there. He's in Vancouver now. Master Lien Gao came from Vancouver. He often came to Taiwan to ask for spiritual cultivation. So he brought Buddhist believers from Vancouver and brought them to me, and that's how spiritual consultation started there. And from New York, from Vajra Diamond Temple, the head director there, Zheng Meizhu, Dharma Sister Lien Wei, and from Houston, there was also one who often asked for spiritual cultivation in Taiwan. And after I came to America, the Bodhisattvas told a lot of people in United States, the Buddhist followers there, that there is Seng Yen Lu that came to Seattle and you can go find him. Then after 6 months later, spiritual consultation started. Then I started to have some income. And I was working very hard in writing my books. So Bodhisattva Maitreya's words are real. He spoke English to me. He said, "Trust me." It's true. Trust me. It's true. I don't lie to you. If you cultivate spiritually with diligence, that Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will arrange everything for you. And he started to give dreams, to get into the dreams of a lot of people. That Grandmaster Lu is in Seattle. And then from then on, it's the same. There are many people continually coming to Seattle. So in Ballard, during my retreat there, I cultivate and do my practice and also give spiritual cultivation, and there I gain enlightenment, gain the true understanding of the mind and seeing the Buddha nature. Doesn't matter how, everything is useful. There's a daughter of a farmer that's really ugly. So the farmer asked her to become like the crow, scarecrow, to scare the crows away. And she not only not only scared the crows, but the crows were so scared that they brought back the corns. So that's why you benefit. She did not just scare the crows. The crows were so scared that they brought back all that they took. So what I meant by telling this joke is, although we were very poor, but somehow the disciples in America started to come for spiritual cultivation, and they also brought stuff over from the Raja Diamond. The Dharma Sister Lien Wei, the head director of the temple, when she visited my home, she brought a few sodas, 7-Up, Coca-Cola, as offerings to the Buddhas. 7-Ups and Coca-Cola. And really, people starting to bring gifts, right? So what Maitreya Bodhisattva said, I will give you everything from the earth, earthly. And today, he also said that he wanted to give everyone 3 gifts. So to let all of us have wisdom, let everyone has wisdom, like the wisdom sword. The 16 Dharma King Karmapa, this Vajra name is the Vajra with the understanding of the self-nature. So what does it mean? That you need to comprehend your own mind first. That's the gift that Maitreya Bodhisattva will give to all of us. And Maitreya Bodhisattva said, in studying Buddha Dharma, the most important thing is to understand your own mind. That's the key point. This joke was written by a disciple last night. So I just like to offer a few jokes, and so I'm going to read it to you. The patient told to the doctor, I always feel that I'm a dog. And the doctor said, oh, that you're bad. When did you start? And the patient said, it started when I was a puppy. You need to understand your own mind. And you want to understand your own habitual tendencies and your afflictions. Where did they come from? Every one of us has our own habitual tendencies, and we have our own afflictions. And where did they come from? And when you eliminate your habitual tendencies and your afflictions, then you would be able to comprehend your own mind. This was spoken by Maitreya Bodhisattva. First, the first wisdom is to understand your own mind. Because your mind is afflicted, is not at peace, and you have lots of habitual tendencies, and you know them yourself. And you see them clearly, what your afflictions are, what your habitual tendencies are. And how do you eradicate, eliminate your habitual tendencies and afflictions? and then you would be able to understand, comprehend your own mind. That was the teaching of Maitreya Bodhisattva. So I said that every sentient being has affliction and has habitual tendencies. I often said that every one of us is mentally disturbed. Everyone is crazy. Why? Because we have afflictions and we have habitual tendencies. Sometimes you get angry and enraged, and when you're in such a state of anger, then your behavior, although it may not make you be admitted into the mental hospital, but may not be as serious, but slightly we have these mental problems. That's the reality. That's my opinion. So I don't find mental illness to be scary, because when it is within the range, that's just a small disturbance. If you find the cause and completely eliminate them, then you understand your own Buddha nature. First, in order to do that, you need to understand your own mind. In the Madhyamaka, the middle way sect, that you need to balance it, harmonize it just right. Master Lien Teng often said, just right. That you harmonize it to be just right. And then you would be really stable. And you observe yourself that you have a very stable mind. Then you don't have any mental illness. That's from the Madhyamaka viewpoint. From the consciousness only viewpoint, that everything in the Saha world is empty. So the physical world is all empty. That the house is also appearance of a composite. Cars, people, they're all just a composite. But we have the Tathagata consciousness, and we have the Buddha nature and the radiant light inside. So when the radiant light appeared, the wisdom mind appeared, then the mind of the Tathagata appeared. So Maitreya Bodhisattva's second gift is to understand your own mind and to generate your own radiance, your own Buddha nature. That's the second gift. That's a very important fifth instruction. If you eliminate all obstructions, it's like the sky, a clear blue sky, nothing in there. In the clear blue sky, that's a radiance. And your mind is like the clear blue sky, infinite, boundless, and expansive. And the light is inside the sky that appeared very radiantly, with great radiance. So the radiant mind, you need to practice radiance. So Naropa, Tiropa, Niguma, among the 6 yoga, one of them is the pure light Dharma practice. Is to practice so that you can appear the light of your heart or mind. That's the second gift of Maitreya Bodhisattva today. That's the second treasure. The jokes that disciple gave me is related to the mental illness. Mr. Tsang asked the doctor, I found my wife has some mental problems. She always thinks that she's a piano. And the doctor said, wow, that's a big problem. Why don't you bring her here? And Mr. Tsang said, are you sick? How can I lift up a piano by myself? So they're all sick. The wife always thinks she is a piano. So he also thinks that she was a piano. That's why he said that he could not lift up a piano by himself. So when sentient beings have illnesses, I also have illnesses. There is a monk of a temple was neighbor and friend to the pig farmer. So whoever get up first would call the other one. And one of them died first, and the farmer went to heaven and the monk went to hell, fell to hell. How come? So, and the Yama king said, because the pig farmer always wake you up to recite the sutras. That's why he went to heaven. Instead, you wake the pig farmer up to kill pigs. So that's why you fall into hell. So I think the Yama king is also sick. Actually, everyone is sick. So, in this world, you cannot see yourself clearly. If you can see yourself clearly, then you would be able to comprehend your own mind. When you comprehend your own mind, and if you practice the 6 yoga of Naropa, or Naropa, of the Kakyupa, there are many Dhamma practices inside. The practice of opening the crown, of the pure light, generating light, transmitting the soul, sleep and dream yoga. The last one I missed. And the pure light Dhamma practice of the 6 yogas of Naropa is to transform your mind to become the store of Tathagata consciousness and to emit the light. So Maitreya Bodhisattva told us to purify yourself, that all afflictions and habitual tendencies are eradicated. So once you cut down the tree of attachment, you would be able to arrive at the other shore. Then you would be able to see the Buddha nature and emit your own light. And the most important one is the third fifth instruction, the third gift given by Maitreya Bodhisattva. You need to know how to emit the light within your heart. And with the radiance of the great ocean of Vairocana, also make that appear, and then to make your own light to melt or to merge with the great ocean of Vairocana light. Then you would truly attain Buddhahood. The third is the merging. So can you merge the light within your heart, the light of the Tathagata consciousness, to merge into the light of the universe? If you can merge the two, then you would attain Buddhahood. In the future, the 3 meetings of the dragon flower of Maitreya, he would, in a split of a second, he could eliminate all karma and to make appear all the Tathagata consciousness store, and with the radiance together with Maitreya Bodhisattva would be able to arise to the inner quarter of the Tushita heaven. That's the pure land that's indestructible, infallible. So they are the three treasures given by Maitreya Bodhisattva. First, you need to comprehend your own mind, and you need to make appear the light of your own mind or heart, and you need to enlighten yourself and others, and you need to appear good, well, and give the good Buddha Dharma to everyone, and you need to generate bodhicitta to help sentient beings, and then you want to merge into the great radiance of Maitreya Bodhisattva, the great ocean of Vairocana radiance. Then you would be able to go to Maitreya pure lands, Buddha lands. That's the one that Maitreya Bodhisattva gave me today. You need to understand how to merge. You use your own consciousness, the consciousness of Tathagata store, and merge with the consciousness of the universe to be connected and to merge, and only then you would be able to attain Buddhahood. This was handwritten and given to me yesterday. Is he or she here? Last night. Yeah, they weren't bad, so I picked a few. Xiaoming said, my neighbor is really despicable. In the middle of the night, they would ring the doorbells. And then the other asked, so did you call the police? Of course not. I continue to blow on my trumpets. So when sentient beings are sick, I am sick. The illnesses of sentient beings are also mine. So when they're sick, I'm also sick. When they are not sick anymore, then I'm not sick. So I sympathize and experience your sicknesses. You're the one that blow on the trumpets. So the neighbor could not sleep. So they ring your doorbell, and instead you say that others continue ringing the doorbells. So all sentient beings are sick. That's why I'm also sick. So after seeing the sicknesses of all beings, it's the same as my sicknesses. So how do I eradicate all sentient beings' sicknesses? That depends on my power. So how to eradicate the afflictions and habitual tendencies of sentient beings? So learn Madhyamaka, learn Yogacara, learn the middle way, learn the consciousness, and also the wisdom that you yourself is made of the four elements of earth, water, fire, and wind, and in a split of a second you're gone. That everything in this physical world is empty, and then you comply with the emptiness. So that's that yourself is empty. That's the sword of self-empty, and the sword of others empty. So the house, the cars, everything, all the precious items, and the fame, and the enjoyment, and all the benefits, everything are empty. And by knowing that they're empty, there's nothing to strive for, and you just let them come and go naturally. And also you yourself come and go naturally. And yet you need to understand, comprehend your own mind, that inside you have Buddha nature, and you need to let the Buddha nature emit, and that you have the radiance, and let the radiance emit. And there's another mental patient that talked to the doctor and said, I always think that I'm a mouse. And the doctor said, don't worry, I'll prescribe some medicine to you, and then you would be fine. And after a couple of months, the patient told the doctor that I don't think I'm a mouse anymore. And when he walked out the hospital, there's a cat appearing, and the mental patient did not move. Don't you think that you're not a mouse anymore? But why are you afraid of the cat? And the patient said, I know that I'm not a mouse. I know that I'm not a mouse, but would the cat know that I'm not a mouse anymore? So he's still a mouse. I often said, Grandmaster can put down everything, can let go of everything. Grandmaster has no attachments whatsoever, has reached such a state. I can let go of everything. Of course, I have let go of a lot of things, but there's a very little bit left. Like that. Although he knows he's not a mouse anymore, he's still afraid of the cat. I know I'm already really beyond everything, but when I see a beautiful girl, I still can't control myself in my heart. But I can control myself. Although the lady is really beautiful, but I still need to control myself. If you can control yourself, then you would not be admitted into the mental hospital. Then you will not go against the law. But if you can't control yourself, then you would breach the law or be admitted into the mental hospital. Oh, that's good writings on jokes here. So many of them. A principal of the school called the parent. Mister, I have good news and bad news about your son. And the parent said, well, headmaster, why don't you give the bad news first? Okay. You know, your son is really feminine. And the parents say, how about the good news? The good news is, now she is the most beautiful girl in school, like the homecoming queen, huh? So these are good jokes. Now we can see all the sicknesses. The Chinese language teacher asked Xiaoming, how many strokes is the word ya? And the student said, 1 stroke. The teacher taught me. And the teacher asked, which teacher? And he said, the music teacher. It sounds like 1 stroke, ya. Ya is like duck. So Grandmaster is disturbed. So when sentient beings are sick, I'm also sick. That's my faith. When I see a beautiful lady, my heart still goes boom boom. This is talking about Master Lian Si. There are 2 Pekingese chatting. What's your name? Oh, I can't say. I'm afraid that you would eat. So, your family name is Juan? No. Your family name is Yi? No. No. So, what's your family name? This is play of German Chinese words. It's like poo. So something that you don't dare to eat. It's like Master Lian Si's name. Can you be cured of sicknesses? My doctor told me no. It can be cured only when you die. This year is the year of the horse. So let me ask you a question. So when you place a bee on top of a horse, what does it mean? It's instant craziness, instant madness. If you place the poo on top of a horse, what does it mean? Instant death. So a cancer patient went to the doctor for follow-up and asked him, how long do I have to live? And the doctor replied, 3. And the patient, is it 3 years or 3 months? And the doctor replied, 3, 2, 1, dead. Sicknesses are really hard to cure, but you still have to find ways to cure them and find a way to practice the pure light Dharma, practice of the 6 yogas of Naropa. A blind old lady lost her way and then tapped on Xiaoming's shoulder and asked, oh, where is this? And Xiaoming replied, it's my shoulder. So I've told all the jokes. Maitreya Bodhisattva is truly great, and he knows that sentient beings have sicknesses, have ailments. That's why he gives us, you need to comprehend our own mind. As long as you comprehend your own mind, you can purify all of your ailments and sicknesses. And then you use your mind to propagate Buddha Dharma, then you emit your own radiance and you can deliver all sentient beings. And finally, you merge your own radiance into the great ocean of the radiance of the universe. And this way you would attain Buddhahood. Om Mani Padme Hum.